Welcome to Best Stories in English. I'm Jennifer, and I'm here to help you improve your English with engaging stories. Today's episode delves into a powerful lesson about resilience and persistence, inspired by a simple but profound story of a man and a group of tiny ants. This story is perfect for all English learners and will help you understand a valuable life lesson. The story is called How to Be Positive in Bad Time. In this episode, we follow the emotional journey of a man who, in a time of crisis, discovers strength and wisdom from the most unexpected place. Dive into this captivating tale that will not only entertain you but also help you improve your English skills. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a man who was deeply troubled by life. His name was Ethan, and though he was a hard-working and kind-hearted person, the world seemed to be constantly against him. Everything he tried to do seemed to fall apart. His business was failing, he was struggling to provide for his family, and worst of all, he felt like he had lost his purpose in life. Ethan's heart was heavy with sadness, and more than once, he thought of giving up on everything. One day, unable to bear his burdens any longer, he decided to visit the village's wise elder, an old man who lived on the outskirts of the town. The elder was known to provide deep insights and help those who were lost find their way. Ethan arrived at the elder's small, humble home and knocked on the door, hoping to find some guidance. The elder opened the door slowly and invited Ethan in. He could immediately see the pain in Ethan's eyes. "What troubles you, my son?" asked the elder, his voice calm and soothing. Ethan, overwhelmed with emotion, began to pour out his heart. "I don't know what to do anymore. Everything in my life is falling apart. I can't make my family happy, I can't provide for them like I used to, and every effort I make ends in failure. I've thought about giving up on life altogether because it feels like there's no hope left for me. Please, can you give me some advice to help me find a way out of this darkness?" The elder listened patiently, nodding as Ethan spoke, his face showing understanding. When Ethan finished, the elder was silent for a few moments, as if deep in thought. Then, with a small smile, he said, "I can see you are struggling greatly, and I want to help you. But first, I have a task for you. It may sound strange, but trust me, it will bring you the answers you seek." Ethan, desperate for any kind of help, agreed without hesitation. "What must I do?" The elder continued. "Near the top of the hill outside the village, there is an old mosque. Next to it, there is a barren land where thousands of ants have made their homes. These ants are known for building complex structures underground, but they often ruin the land by digging. For 7 days, I want you to go to the hill and destroy the ants' homes. But there is one important rule: you must not kill any of the ants. Simply destroy their homes, and return to me at the end of the 7th day." Ethan was puzzled. Destroying the homes of ants? How could that possibly help him solve his problems? But the elder's wisdom was well known, and Ethan trusted that there was a deeper meaning behind the task. He agreed to the challenge and set off for the hill early the next morning. When he reached the top of the hill, Ethan saw what the elder had described, a dry, barren patch of land where hundreds of ants were busily at work, gathering food and building intricate tunnels. He watched them for a while, fascinated by their small yet incredibly organized world. Their dedication to their work was impressive, but Ethan knew he had a job to do. With some hesitation, he began to destroy their homes, carefully avoiding harming any of the ants. He dug up their tunnels and collapsed their small mounds. The ants, sensing the destruction of their homes, scattered in every direction, desperately trying to save their food and themselves. Ethan felt a twinge of guilt as he saw the chaos he had caused, but he reminded himself that this was part of the elders' plan. After finishing the task for the day, he walked back home, his heart still heavy. He wasn't sure how this activity would bring him any answers. The next morning, Ethan returned to the hill to continue his task. To his surprise, when he reached the top, he saw that the ants had rebuilt their homes overnight. The same tunnels and mounds were back, as if nothing had happened. Ethan was astonished. How could such small creatures rebuild everything so quickly? Though impressed by their resilience, Ethan proceeded with his task again, carefully destroying the ants' homes for the second day in a row. As he did this, a thought crossed his mind. These ants are so determined. I destroyed their homes yesterday, and yet here they are, rebuilding everything again. They didn't give up. On the third day, Ethan arrived at the hill and found the same scene. The ants had rebuilt their homes once more. This time, he paused before starting his task. He couldn't help but admire the ants' persistence. No matter how many times their homes were destroyed, they rebuilt them without hesitation. They didn't stop to complain or feel sorry for themselves. They simply started over. As he continued the task over the next few days, Ethan began to feel a shift within himself. He realized that each day, the ants were teaching him a valuable lesson. Life had knocked him down repeatedly, just like how he knocked down the ants' homes. But unlike the ants, Ethan had been on the verge of giving up. The ants, on the other hand, never gave up. No matter how many times their homes were destroyed, they kept rebuilding. By the seventh day, Ethan felt a sense of peace he hadn't experienced in a long time. He completed his final task, gently destroying the ants' homes one last time, but this time he did so with a smile. He knew now that the lesson wasn't in the act of destruction, but in the ants' response to it. He returned to the elder's home, feeling a strange mixture of exhaustion and hope. The elder greeted him warmly and invited him to sit. "I have done as you asked," Ethan said. "I destroyed the ants' homes for 7 days without harming any of them. But I think I already understand the lesson." The elder smiled, pleased. "Tell me, what have you learned?" Ethan took a deep breath and said, "The ants taught me that no matter how many times life knocks you down, you have to keep going. Each time I destroyed their homes, they didn't give up or waste time feeling sorry for themselves. They simply rebuilt. And over time, I realized that I've been like them. I've been knocked down by life, but instead of rebuilding, I wanted to give up. Now I see that the only way to overcome my struggles is to keep trying, no matter how many times I fail." The elder nodded. "You have understood well, my son. Life is full of challenges, and it often feels like we are being torn apart by forces beyond our control. But like the ants, we must have the strength and the determination to rebuild, to keep moving forward, even when things seem hopeless. Resilience is not just about surviving, it's about thriving despite the obstacles." Ethan left the elder's house that day with a renewed sense of purpose. The weight on his shoulders was still there, but it was lighter now, because he knew that no matter what life threw at him, he could rebuild, just like the ants. The tiny creatures had taught him a lesson that no amount of words could explain. Persistence in the face of adversity is the key to success. Dive into a treasure trove of captivating stories that will not only entertain you, but also help you improve your English skills. Join us on this language learning journey as we explore the power of storytelling to enhance your vocabulary, grammar, and comprehension. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications of our new videos. Also, comment for more videos like this, and check out the playlist on the end screen. Thanks for watching.